What's up, AFI Movie Club? My name's Tony Vainuku. I am the director of In Football We Trust. In Football We Trust is a verite feature documentary that we told with four of our characters, three families, teenage boys in their senior year, playing football. We followed them for 4 years. They were using football to get an opportunity for education, get out of either gangs and poverty. And so some of our universal themes of the doc were family, faith, and succeeding in the American dream. Things that made our film unique were it was about a new culture, Polynesians, Tongan and Samoan, that lived in Salt Lake City and were Mormons. So it's funny, everywhere we went, we had different cultures saying, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my family and my culture in this way. And so it was really universal that way. Again, the human part of just family, faith, it was, some of them were specifically Mormon, which was unique, but I think faith in general, people identified with it as well. And the hopefulness of making it out and providing for their family. I was raised with peers, cousins that we all had football. We were all somewhat raised to play football at the cost of everything else. And I think that the reason for that was Polynesians had a quick advantage in the little league of the sport. So we were bigger, we were fast for how big we were. So it was easy for us to dominate in little league. And then you start going up towards high school and then college. The exact story that inspired me is a younger uncle of mine was raised by my grandparents who were from the islands. And they literally didn't know how to motivate him in school. So he never had to really go to school. All of his coaches were his teachers. He never had a job. And then his biggest support system, which was his father, ended up passing away right when he was going to go to college. And he ended up becoming a meth addict and going to prison. He's been in prison for 30 years. So that example is what really drove me to go out and tell this story of our culture and what's going on. But I think as Polynesians are here longer, parents are understanding how important education is. They were raised in the education system here, so they know the type of follow-up and encouragement to put on the kids. Whereas my younger uncle, my grandparents, they don't know what he's doing at school or what to follow up on or helping him at all. One of my biggest heroes in the story is actually Leva, who brought a gun to school. It could have been a lot worse, I think, because of the time that it was shot. Nothing was going super viral with smartphones just yet. It was right before that. But him now having a baby and having a normal family and not being in prison, which a lot of his cousins, that was the way it turned out for them, was the biggest hero story in there. So it's like his American dream was to stay alive through football, being just a positive sport for him. As a first-time director, I pulled on a first-time producer as well, and we kind of learned the landscape of raising awareness with grants, getting anybody to support this film. We eventually got PBS involved 4 years into the project that ended up basically letting us tell our story. But for the most part, we were doing it. The PIC, Pacific Islander, out in Hawaii, helped us with early funding. Even my own culture didn't really trust what I was doing. They were like, oh God, yeah. If I'm not a football player, they were questionable of me making a film or a movie that was legit. And so us raising money with a lot of the Polynesian culture was tough, but we just kept at it. We stayed persistent. I ended up being the second Polynesian at Sundance in 2015. And now, fortunately, I have a lot of respect by the Polynesian culture. And I think it's opened doors for other Polynesian voices to tell our stories, and do filmmaking versus sports, and more into the art side versus sports side. Thanks, AFI Movie Club members. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this interview. If you guys want to check out the movie, head to afi.com.